warning, this is an extremely long video, so if you don't have the time for it and you don't like those, well, too bad, because there's a ton of information that has to be mentioned, so be careful.
TCG Zapdos, he does a very good job as well, very helpful for newer and experienced players alike, so check him out.
And TCG Zapdos, great shows with episodes and great editing, and if you like the Pokemon trading card game, check out their videos.
It's alright to tell me you don't know what deck you are gonna play. Our regionals want to be undefeatable. Just check this top 10 and without a doubt you'll win. And thank me later when you've gotten greater. The steps that you take to make your deck do great, the timing and charges will make it too much. A day long, not short. I'm writing the report. I'm winning, not failing. When I win, you'll hear it loud, and it'll happen once again. I'll win from the begin. I really had it planned. I hope you understand that this is what I am. My dreams don't just end. I'll keep going strong, and together we move on. What's up YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here, and welcome to episode 81. We'll be checking out the top 10 of the regional decks. So if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering what deck you should play at regionals, and regionals is right around the corner, so it's ideal for you to watch this video since I'm gonna talk over the 10 most hyped decks that you can expect at your tournament. So this won't be like a usual top 10, like I say, like on the number 10 spot we have this deck, on the number 9 spot we have this deck. Actually, I'm gonna group them, like every time I'm gonna say something is like this deck is actually a top tier deck. Actually, they're all really great at this format. That's really great actually, because every deck actually has a great thing to it. Actually, let's say we have the triangle starter, like say we have Pyroar here, then we have Seismitoad beating the Pyroar deck, and the Pyroar deck beats the Virizion deck. So it's like a visual circle like this, if you can imagine it, like the starters beating everything. It's actually, you can't come to a tournament and actually have advantages over everything. That's not possible. So just get your binders out there, get your deck lists ready, because you are actually going to want to note this down, because there's a deck list for every deck, every top 10 deck. It won't be actually like the perfect deck, but actually came out with something really quick that actually you know what it looks like. So we will start off, of course, with the most hyped deck from the entire format is the fighting decks. We start off with Landorus Lucario, probably one of the top decks out there, won a lot of league challenges, so you should definitely look out for this deck, because this deck is really aggressive. I'm not gonna look over everything, only the most important stuff. The thing you should know about this deck actually is that Landorus EX is really dangerous, because it can deal 30 to the active and then 30 to a bench Pokemon in combination with Strong Energy, Muscle Band, and then we have Verbank City Gem and Hypnotoxic Laser. You actually deal a ton of damage just for one energy. Lucario, on the other hand, can deal even more damage, because with 2 energies, he deals 60 damage, and then with the bonus, as I just mentioned, you deal even more damage. Mewtwo is in here just actually for the Mewtwo wars, because we have Lucario who is weak to Psychic. And also, the thing you can run here is actually, let's type it in, Hawlucha, something really great. You can check it out here. It actually is a non-EX Pokemon attacker. Really great to put in this deck. And also, contenders are the regular Landorus with Shadow of Power to have some energy acceleration, and just a regular Pokemon as well. So there are options enough. I also tagged in one Seismitoad in this deck, because item lock is awesome. So for the trainers, I'm just gonna put over them. The most important stuff you can see here is that we have to run 4 arenas. Then you can choose between Fighting Stadium or the Verbank City Gym. It's all up to you. Actually, if you want to make a deck, you can just check out this deck and actually make your own version of it. There's just some regular cards in here that actually makes some sense for this deck. Actually, there's one Scala in here as well, because I just like the card. So 4 energies, so the strong energies is a must, and the rest is actually optional. So the fighting deck is really strong, and you should definitely look out for it. Another top tier deck, another fighting deck actually, is the Donphan Friends deck, which I talked about in a previous episode. The thing you should know here is that you have to run like the Mr. Mime in this deck, just because you don't really have to if you don't have it or something, but Mr. Mime is really great, as I said, because Landorus EX snipes, Genesect snipes, Darkrai snipes, everyone snipes. So Mr. Mime blocks the damage with that. Also, Trevenant is a must in this deck. I recommend 2 or even 3 in this deck. I only have 2, that's why I only run 2 in this deck list. So we also have Sigilyph and then Suicune. Suicune is actually the better version. Sigilyph, I actually would have run 2 Suicune and only 1 Sigilyph, since Suicune is better, but I only have 1 Suicune, so that's it. So these are the basic Pokemon. Run a 4-4 line of Donphan. With Donphan, it's just the same like I mentioned, with the Power Up Boost, Hypnotoxic Layers, Muscle Band, Strong Energy, and the good stuff like that. You can deal a ton of damage. Well, the good thing about Donphan is that it, with a spinning turn, you switch to a bench Pokemon, and that's why we have these Pokemon here, like Trevenant, Sigilyph, and the Suicune here, just because they all have effects that actually are really great. We have the item lock with Trevenant, Pokemon EX can attack Sigilyph and Suicune, so that's great. So let's go back to the trainers. You actually should definitely pause the video and just note everything down that you want to have. And as I said, this is not the perfect deck. It could be improved much more, but it's just to give you a basic idea from what cards you usually run in this type of deck. So yeah, that's it for the Donphan Friends deck. Now let's go to the third deck in this list. It's actually, as I said, all decks are almost exactly the same. Like, the only things that stand out are like Landorus, Lucario, and then Seismitoad, Garbodor, which I'll talk about now. This is also a top tier deck, winning a lot of league challenges, and as you see, this deck usually runs around 2 Mewtwo, and then of course the number 4 Seismitoad, because we definitely want to start with it, and then a 2-2 line of the Garbodor, since Garbodor blocks the abilities and we use a Pokemon that don't have abilities except for this Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is in here because I like it a lot, and I played this version of a deck myself, won a league challenge with it, so you can copy it if you want, because yeah, it's a really great deck. Mr. Mime is in there just because you want to block the damage. Also, it's great because Seismitoad, if you attack with his second attack, it actually blocks that damage as well, but then you don't want to have Garbodor out, so it's just in certain situations that you want Mr. Mime out, and others you don't want it out. So let's say you face a Landorus deck, you don't even need Garbodor, since those Pokemon that don't have abilities. That's why we run Mr. Mime. Also, 2 Reshiram's in this deck is a must. You can also run the Victini EX in this deck to counter the Genesect Virizion deck, since that deck is still going strong, and the Seismitoad is weak to grass, so that's why we run some fire Pokemon in there as well. Usually you want some that run on Carless energies. And the Victini, if you want Victini EX, you have to run the Ace Pack card as well. So for the trainers, just some usual stuff. I usually run 1 Max Potion in this deck because it helps me out in a lot of situations. Then yeah, the usual stuff for Skyla. Actually, I only run 1 Verbank City Gem in this deck because I actually put in Max Potion instead, since I actually wanted to have some recovery and I didn't know what cards to pick out. Also, the 4 Muscle Band and 4 Hypnotoxic Lasers is a must, since Seismitoad doesn't deal a ton of damage, and with that we boost the amount of damage like that. So that's deck number 3. Now let's go to deck number 4. Deck number 4, we're actually gonna check out the Genesect Virizion deck I just talked about. So in this deck list, you'll see a Dragonite. Dragonite is completely optional. You can actually remove those Dragonites and put in some more Team Plasma energies and remove the Lightning energies. As I said, the energies are looking like this. You can remove the Lightning energies, put in some more Plasma energies, and put some more Genesects in as well. Also, I recommend running 4 Virizion EXs, but since I traded 1 away to actually make this video and show the cards, I only have 3 remaining. So you can actually remove this Dragonite, add in some more Genesects here, as you see, some more Genesects, which will actually help you out with Rex Signal, because it has an ability, if you attach a Team Plasma energy, you just have the same ability as the Lysander or Catcher, so that's really great. Also, Mewtwo is in here, really great. Virizion powers up everything. A thing I really like in this deck is Munna. It's optional though. Munna is actually really great because once during your turn, you flip a coin. If heads, the opponent is asleep. If tails, you are asleep. And since Virizion has the ability that actually prevents the special conditions, it's really great, and we can always benefit from the Munna. Also, a 2-2 line of Beartic. I think this is just a must in this deck because Pyroar is still running around blocking the EXs from attacking, and that's why Pyroar is in here. It's an evolved Pokemon. It can deal a ton of damage, and it can also knock out Landorus EX in 1 shot. So Beartic, really something to put in, and Munna is optional, Dragonite is optional, so also Mr. Mime is optional. The thing you want is 4 Virizion and then 2 Genesect, and the rest is basically up to you. You can also go for 1 Genesect and more Dragonite EXs, but as I said, Dragonite EX is a bit less common and could be great in your tournament to surprise your opponent. So for the items, if you don't run Dragonite, definitely don't run this Scoop Up Cyclone. Run Computer Search instead, or Dowsing Machine. It's up to you. I'm just gonna type them in here. Computer Search here. That's that card, and then we have Dowsing. Yeah, this card for the people that are new. You definitely want to know what the card is. So as the Ace Pack card, you can choose. But if you run Dragonite, Scoop Up Cyclone, what am I saying? Scoop Up Cyclone is the way to go. Also, if you don't run Dragonite, Super Scoop Up should be removed here. And then we run like more Hypnotoxic Lasers or something. So that's basically it. Also, you can remove Hard Charm and add in some Fairbank City Gems and great stuff like that. But for now, it's just a Dragonite build. You can go for the Genesect Virizion, the pure Genesect Virizion with Beartic in there, and that actually would be a bit better actually, because I definitely like the regular version Genesect Virizion. So let's go to deck number 5. Deck number 5 is the Fairy Toolbox. I'm sure you heard about it before. The Fairy Toolbox is actually a deck that revolves around this little guy. We have Aromatisse stage 1 that actually moves around the fairy energies on your side of the field, and in combination with Fairy Garden, an ideal stadium card which has all your Pokemon with it. Let's just show it to you guys. It's here. Each Pokemon that has any fairy energies attached to has free retreat. So we have the energies which we can manipulate on our side of the field in combination with free retreat, which is awesome. So I run one Yveltal EX in this deck list. You can actually choose it up to you. The thing you want is definitely a true 3-2 line of the Aromatisse. Maybe add it up to a 3-3 line of Aromatisse, since you definitely want that one out. I only run a 3-2 since I don't have more, as you see. The marker is 0. So the thing you also want is one Xerneas EX. It's really great. Then another must is a Mewtwo EX, since we don't want to have like an overpowered Mewtwo on the opponent's side of the field, knocking everything out. Another thing you can run is actually the Mega Kangaskhan here, but you do need the regular Kangaskhan EX as well. But the reason I'm not running Mega Kangaskhan EX in this regionals top 10 list deck is because he's weak to fighting, and as you know, fighting decks are huge in the format. I can't say it enough. So Mega Kangaskhan won't do the trick anymore. So and also another thing I actually suggest is running this Virizion, because if you attach a Rainbow Energy to your Pokemon, we have free retreat since it stands for Fairy Energies, and if you actually have the Rainbow Energy on one of your Pokemon with Virizion out, we can be asleep or confused or paralyzed or poisoned. So Hypnotoxic Laser doesn't even work because of the ability of Virizion. So that's great. Also, Seismitoad can be a contender, and then we have Suicune. Everything actually that runs on something. We do want to have like 4 Rainbow Energies. I'm gonna do the energies first. You only see like Zapdos. There are only 2 Rainbow Energies. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, since I don't have more Rainbow Energies, there's only 2. Actually, I'm gonna check it out. Rainbow. Yeah, I only have 2 rainbows, so that's unfortunate. You actually have to want to run about 4 Rainbow Energies and Fairy Energies, and usually about 1 to 2 DCE. So go to your binder and get your 4 Rainbow Energies out and some Fairy Energies, since that's the energies you'll need. So not 2, but 4 Rainbow Energies. And with Rainbow Energy, we can also run something like Cobalion. Everything is an option. I already traded for 2 since the upcoming Bronzong is coming up, and I wanted to test Cobalion out as soon as possible. So regardless, we also want to run, like as I said, the Seismitoad is really great item blocking, and then this Xerneas is a must. Everything is optional, like Suicune is optional, Seismitoad is optional, Virizion is optional, Mewtwo is a must, Xerneas is a must, Xerneas is a must, then the 2-3 line, actually the 3-2 line of Aromatisse is a must, and then actually, this is also a must. You want to run 2 or 3 of those, since that is the Pokemon that will build up our Pokemon. He can use Geomancy, choose 2 of your bench Pokemon and attach Fairy Energies to both of them. So 2 energies and 1 turn energy acceleration, so you'll definitely need that. Now to the trainers. I haven't tested this deck out in the battle video, but I made it just for this episode for you guys to help out at your regional. So you can also let me know in the comment section what you're gonna run for regional, so everyone knows what is being played the most. So you can run 1 Evo Solar, evolving that Spritzy straight away. Max Potion is a must in this deck. I'm actually gonna say what else is a must. Starling Megaphone, since if you're running facing Garbodor, you can't do anything anymore because your abilities get shut off. I'm struggling over my words because I want to give you the information as fast as possible. So 2 Starling Megaphones is a must, since if we run against the Garbodor, we can't do anything anymore since our abilities get shut. So, what else? The Pokemon Fan Club is something you usually don't see on certain decks. This is really great because we do want to have Spritzy out as fast as possible, and this is actually a great supporter to do that. Even in item lock, we can get our Spritzys out. Then we have this Fairy Garden is also a must. I usually run 3 of those, since a lot of people are playing Stadium cards, and once they actually use their Stadium cards, ours get discarded, and usually when you play Juniper or something, you usually end up having like not a Fairy Garden, so 3 is the ideal number. You can add it up to 4, but I'm not certain about that. 3 is an ideal position. So let's go to another deck. Let's go to Pyroar this time around. Pyroar is actually a deck that everyone hates, because usually everyone is running EXs nowadays. With EXs, yeah, as I said, you can attack this awesome looking Pyroar. Intimidating main prevents all damage onto this Pokemon from your opponent's basic Pokemon. So not even the regular Landorus or something can attack it. So you need evolved Pokemon, so that's why I suggested the Beartic and the Genesect Virizion deck. So Pyroar, we run the Jirachian here because it gives us some more support. Ultra Ball for the Jirachi and actually have a supporter even if we don't have one, because we want to have Pyroar out as soon as possible. Actually, I can't say it enough. That's like a second turn, actually like a second turn Pyroar or something is really great because Pyroar is awesome. Then one Mewtwo and then 2 Seismitoad. You can actually change it up, like 2 Mewtwo and 1 Seismitoad. It's all up to you because we do run 4 DCEs and 8 regular fire energies, so the thing is up to you. You can even run the Charizard EX as well. I've seen a lot of people playing Pyroar with Charizard, so Pyroar is actually versatile. You run DCEs in combination with fire energy, so anything that runs on DCEs you can run as well. So for the trainers, again, Computer Search and Dowsing Machine are the ace pack cards that come around the most. So yeah, we do need energy retrieval. This is a great, a great card for some extra draw power. The Fiery Torch only works in fire decks like this. Hypnotoxic Laser, also again, Starling Megaphone, we run it too since Garbodor is annoying the hell out of us, and that way we can use our awesome ability. Another thing you should know is that this is something that not every people runs because not many decks run this card because it only works in fire decks. You can search your deck for 2 fire energies and yeah, from your discard pile actually, and attach to one of your fire Pokemon. Great for Charizard if you have Charizard EX. Test it out in this deck. So Lysander then. Another unique thing is this Pokemon Center Lady, because once your Pyroar is poisoned, usually they go around this. Oh wow, there's Pyroar, I can't attack him. Let's use Hypnotoxic Laser and Fairbank City Gym, and wow, he'll knock itself out really soon. So yeah, that's why we run Pokemon Center Lady. Even in item block and stuff, we can actually get rid of our special conditions. Alright, so besides that, the usual Muscle Band, Floatstone, and good stuff like that. So let's go, we're running at the last deck, so we're going to the Team Plasma all the way from last format. Actually, this deck is still really powerful, but I suggest running the Speed Lugia version. So you can also run this little guy. We have, how's it called? We have Zekrom, we have, oh yeah, it's called Kyurem. This little beast is actually really powerful in this deck, since, yeah, it knocks out let's say, the Landorus in one shot. It isn't in the EX, so it's really great, the Kyurem. The bad thing, though, is about this deck that you usually want to run another Pokemon. Let's say we have Pokemon to search out for. We do run on all of DCE, so we can run Raichu in this deck. I know we're playing more than 60 cards, but I'm just putting them in there. I'm gonna remove them later. Also, Beartic is a nice choice. So run one of 2 of those, maybe like a 2-2 line of Raichu or 2-2 line of Beartic, since you can't deal with Pyroar otherwise. Or you can deal with Pyroar if you have like a lot of Lysanders and Lugia to sweep some prizes really fast. So I usually suggest running the Raichus and the Beartics as well in this deck, but it's the old deck, so let's just see what else is in here. So the 2 Thunderuses is a must, since you want to have that as your starting Pokemon. Against fighting decks, it's not that great, but Lugia has resistance to fighting, so it actually compensates. So we also run 4 Deoxys EX, which is a must to build up our Plasma attack. So 4 Plasma energies, 2 Rainbow energies, 2 Lightning energies for DCEs, and then for the trainers, Dowsing Machine is great in this deck. Not Computer Search, Dowsing Machine, since you can get back your Colorless machines, which searches your deck for a Plasma energy and attaches to your awesome Lugia. And then we have Plasma Ball is also something unique in this deck, and for the rest, this card, Shadow Triad, is great in Team Plasma decks. And Frozen City is actually something I really like, since you put damage counters, your opponent puts damage counters every time they attach an energy to their non-Team Plasma Pokemon. So that quite stacks up like that. Also, Fairbank City Gem is great in this situation. The choice is actually up to you. So the thing you want to do is attach a ton of energies, Colorless Machine, Lugia EX, attack for a lot of power. Actually, if you knock something out, you can take an extra prize. If you knock out an EX, you get 3 prizes. So you want to be fast with this deck, Radical, and if you're not certain about being Radical and if you're struggling, you can add in Jirachi as well, or maybe you just add the Raichu and the Beartic if you're afraid of Pyroar. So let's just go to the last decks, which I haven't mentioned yet. So now to Yveltal Garbodor, another one. This is actually one of the top decks in the previous format. Let's see what changed. I actually made an episode about this one as well. Actually, about most competitive decks, I make an episode every week. So otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, right? So the thing we have to do is run 3 regular Yveltals. It'll build up our Pokemon on the bench with Darkness Energies, or Yveltal EXs mainly. So Jirachi in this deck for consistency, Garbodor to shut off abilities, and then just 4 DCEs, 8 Darkness Energies, and then for the trainers, some usual stuff you see here. Also, a thing you want to do in this deck is actually run Darkrai EX as well. Definitely one copy will save you today because you have free retreat with your darkness, actually Pokemon with darkness energies attached. That can also get your Jirachi EX out of the active position, Garbodor if you really need it. So Darkrai EX, run 1 or 2. I don't have the card so I can't explain it, so that's not in the deck list, so that's why, yeah, you do definitely want to run like 1 or 2 Darkrai EXs. Then the usual stuff, as you can see, Muscle Band, Hypnotoxin Laser, Verbank City Gem. And the thing you want to run, and this new version of the Yveltal Garbodor deck is running 3 energy switches. You can add it up to 4 if you find the space, but energy switch is needed because we have the regular Yveltal building up our bench Pokemon, and we don't want to lose the energies, that way we run energy switch. In combination with Y-Cyclone with Yveltal EX, we actually save some energies and have our next Yveltal EX up and running. So that's it for that deck, and let's see what deck I still missed. So we have that, the Yveltal Garbodor deck, Team Plasma, Seismitoad, Pyroar, fighting Landorus, Lucario. Then we have 2 decks remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the Gourgeist deck first. A really great deck, if I say so myself. It actually became like 2nd at my league challenge, so this Gourgeist, I made a battle video about it, check that out if you want to see how it works. So the Pokemon, a Dusknoir line, a 4/4 line of the Gourgeist, our main attacker, actually putting the Spirit Scream on the massive position, knocking out, excuse me, some EXs. And Seismitoad is also great in this deck, and Sigilyph to stall. So for the items, the Dodging Machine is great, a Sacred Dash is needed because your Gourgeist, if they're priced and a lot of them are knocked out, you want to get them back. Starting Megaphone is great because we want to use the ability of Dusknoir, and if Garbodor is out, I already mentioned, etc, etc. So Pokemon Fan Club running 2, maybe more, because we want to have the basic Pokemon out as soon as possible, and then Verbank City Gem Float Stones. And then the energies, 2 DCs and 9 Psychic energies. So these decks aren't usually the best, like the Gourgeist deck isn't that played a lot, but and the Team Plasma deck is also not that common anymore, so those aren't actually the top tier decks, but they're still in this list since they're doing quite great at some point. So the last deck of the entire video is the Eeveelution deck. You can actually run it like this, running a ton of Eeveelutions, running a ton of basics. I'm not gonna say like 2 something like that. You see the energies on the screen. So 1 Plasma Energy is in here because sometimes Colress Machine and Deoxys EX can attack out of nowhere. For Deoxys EXs, dealing more attack, more damage with your Plasma Pokemon, since the Eeveelutions are Plasma Pokemon. And for the guys of you that don't know already, if you attach an energy, a basic energy to Eevee, you can evolve on the first turn. And if Frozen City is out, you don't receive damage since you evolve into a Plasma Pokemon. So that out of the way, it's sort of like this. Computer Search, also some great card like this. Max Revive could help out in certain situations to get your Eevee back in the deck, because sometimes you want to evolve into it 2 times in a row if it's been knocked out. So Frozen City is a must in this deck. You can also run Verbank, but that's not really great. Silver Bangle, that's quite it for the deck. You see all the cards on the screen, but you can also run Flareon and Friends. You should definitely consider it. You just run the Flareon in combination with Raichu, this one actually, this Raichu, this Circle Circuit. Then we have Beartech as well, and really some Pokemon that go for the weakness. Raichu goes for the weakness of Yveltal and Lugia. Then we have the Beartech goes after Pyroar straight away. Then we have the Eevee as well, evolving into Leafeon, and maybe Flareon. Flareon is great for knocking out the, let's see, what was it again? The Genesect Virizion deck, and Leafeon is great for Seismitoad. So Eevee has a ton of potential because it goes after the weakness of every deck out there. So that's it for another episode. You see the deck list. I'm actually gonna show it again, the trainer cards here, since I went a bit too fast. You can actually pause the video as I already mentioned. So that was the 10 top decks of regionals. I'm not gonna put them in the order, but the thing I wanna say is like the top tier decks will be like Seismitoad, Genesect, Pyroar, Landorus, and maybe like the Donphan deck as well is doing really great as well. And then Fairy Toolbox might have a chance as well. The thing that I don't think that will work that well is Eeveelutions or Gourgeist, actually budget decks for people that don't have the money to buy those insanely expensive EXs, since Deoxys EX comes as a promo. And then Team Plasma and Yveltal, I'm not so sure. Yveltal is still doing great, but if I have to order it, I'm gonna say like Eeveelution is like standing on number 9 spot, then Gourgeist on number 10, then we have Yveltal on number 8, no, Team Plasma on number 8, Yveltal on number 7, Fairy Toolbox on number 6, Pyroar on number 5, then we have the Donphan on number 4, then the Genesect on number 3, then we have the Landorus on number 2, and I say like Seismitoad EX, the pure deck like that, is standing on number 1. So if you really had the list and pick something up, then let me know in the comment section what you think is the best deck and what deck are you gonna play at regionals. And that's it for another episode, you guys. I hope you appreciated the amount of work I put into making the deck list. I know they're not really perfect, but I'll definitely give you an idea of how to make your deck. And yeah, if you want to go to regionals, that is. So the thing you have to do also do be regionals is be prepared, sleep the night before, and actually prepare for everything. As I said, the 3 tips last time. You have to be aware of the unsuspected. Usually people play cards that you say like, why the hell do they run it? And actually, what else is actually don't be overconfident. Usually you don't want to like have a deck out. You have to pay attention to everything. And actually that's it about it for the tips and regional decks. So I hope you see you guys soon. But first we are now going to Poké-News, which will be not in the live cam, but just yeah, and the regular episode, so I'm going straight into the video like this. Zoop.
Alright guys, welcome to Poké-News. I hope you enjoyed the live cam section where I talked about the top 10 regional decks. So first of all on my list in Poké-News this time around is the Talonflame Blister Pack. You got 1 Phantom Forces pack, as well as a Talonflame card and then a coin as well. So looks pretty sweet. And we also have this collection album where you can stack some cards, and also this smaller binder to actually put some cards in it, where like we have 9 slots. So you know the binders actually. We also have them in different versions, like with Gengar and Manectric on them. So that looks pretty sweet if I say so myself. And then next is the new Healing Raymond Trevor on the Pokemon Gem Challenge promo packs. Wow, that's a mouthful. We see some cards here, and then we have like a Heliosilk with the ability Dry Scan, reduces 30 damage from your opponent's water Pokemon attacks. So that could be neat if water actually becomes really powerful once again. Then we also have a trainer here, a tool card, attach it to one of your Pokemon of course. And when you attach an energy card from your hand to the Pokemon this tool card is attached to, heal 20 damage from your Pokemon. So maybe with Blastoise, if you attach a couple of energies, you heal yourself up, which is great. So maybe we can test it out. Then we have Trevor, which is a supporter. You can search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and then put it in your hand. So it's actually just like Master Ball, but and then in a supporter. So that actually not anything that great. I usually prefer running the Ultra Ball, but yeah, it's a supporter for those of you that really want to play it. It's just a sweet looking supporter like that. Then we have 15 new scans from the Phantom Forces set. Actually, I talked about it before in the previous episodes when the Japanese scans are out there. So I'm not gonna review them everything. I'm gonna review it when the entire set is actually is available in the full English release. So we see the most particular cards like Golbat, Crobat, Chandelure, Gourgeist. What else is awesome like that? We can show Gliscor, which is not that great actually. Let's see actually what it does. I'm actually doing this live since I want to bring the content as soon as possible. So submission hold, 20 damage. Your opponent can attach energies from his or her hand during his or her next turn. So this could be great in some situations. Also a fighting Pokemon. So if your opponent doesn't have any energies anymore, you just use Gliscor time after time and they're stuck like that. Maybe with a combination with Team Flare Grunt, we can do something. So we have Hunchcrow as well. Yeah, that's not that great, only dealing 120 damage. Then we have Spiritomb. We have the B cancel. Your opponent can play a Pokemon from his or hand to evolve. So if Eeveelutions come strong, play Spiritomb. And then we have, of course, the Hyped Mystery Energy and then Gengar EX Full Art. So wow, a lot of things to look out for. Definitely I'm gonna open up a booster box on my channel as well, so definitely look forward to it. And that's about it for another episode. I know it was a really long one, but I hope you stick some information into your brain because it was a lot to actually mention. And I hope you appreciated my work for you guys. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thanks again for watching. Also, you can click the like button, and if you do, I definitely appreciate it, and it levels up my Zapdos, believe it or not. Okay, you can also click here to subscribe if you want to stay updated when the awesome TCG videos like this come out. Usually I make TCG online battles on a regular basis, like daily, and then we have on Wednesday the awesome episode like this one. So that's about it for me, and I'm gonna stop rambling on. So thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace! Hi, if you haven't checked out the previous episode, you should definitely take a look. There's also an epic intro rap in that video, as well as a new deck I discovered called Plasma Yveltal / Umbreon. You also get a great idea of how the deck works. And then we have, of course, if you click here, another TCG online match, which is with the Pyroar I tested out and the Seismitoad, a combination like that. And then, of course, you can click here to check out the What Are Pokemon TCG Tournaments. It's a featuring I did with Skull Surgical TCG. So, that's all for this time, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Yo!